I wonder when shopping became a hobby for people rather than a way to obtain the things we actually need. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm really excited about this video. I love watching them myself. I think it's so fascinating to see what different people can just live their everyday lives without. At the end of the day, please remember this is a bit of fun, and whilst there's some things on my list that you probably couldn't do without, and you've probably seen things that I've got that you think, you know, she doesn't need that, she could do without it. We're all different and it is just a bit of fun. I just want to point out that this video, things I don't buy, is different to things I don't own. There are some things on this list that I currently own, but I don't plan on ever buying again. And if you've got a second, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have noticed on my analytics that less than a third of my regular viewers are subscribed to my channel. So if you enjoy content about decluttering, capsule wardrobes, no buys, savings, and all those sorts of things, then I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, support my channel, and it's free. Okay, so here we go. Count along with me. Let me know down in the comments at the end how many of my 50 you also do not buy. And let's get on with it. Let's kick off the 50, starting with food and drink. So coffee to begin with. I am not a massive fan of the taste of coffee, but in the past I have enjoyed a few flavoured coffees, but to be honest, I don't like the way they make me feel. I get headaches from drinking coffee, even if it's just one and it's not particularly strong. And even sometimes I've been known to get the shakes from drinking coffee. I'm sure it's something to do with the caffeine. And even for the ones I found that I enjoyed the taste of, the taste just wasn't worth the side effects. Next up is alcohol, and this one's really easy for us because neither my husband or myself drink. We personally don't see the point in drinking and don't see any added value from it. We don't buy alcohol to keep in our house, even if we're talking about for guests, nor would we order alcohol if we were out at a restaurant. It's just not something that interests us. Next is pre-prepared smoothies. I just find them to be incredibly expensive for what you get, and usually in quite a small bottle. You can make a much higher quantity of it yourself at home. You know exactly what's gone into it because you've made it yourself from your favourite ingredients, and it will give you all the nutritional benefits that you would like because you have chosen what goes into it. Then we have got tinned vegetables. Tinned vegetables is just something I have never had any success with. If ever I've tried to use them as a bit of a corner cut method, I've always been disappointed by the taste and the quality. In fact, the only foods we ever have out of a tin include baked beans, tinned tomatoes for sauces, which I kind of don't count because they're not sort of just a side of vegetables. You would mix them in with something. And very, very occasionally, soup. Then we have ready meals. I'm talking about frozen, pre-prepared, stick it in the microwave or stick it in the oven and job's done. Again, it's one of those things where you don't really control what goes into it. The portions are generally quite small, so you'll probably be hungry afterwards. And I always cook in the evenings for myself and my husband. The only time I could ever see myself wanting a quick and easy fix like a ready meal is if I was home on my own, and that just rarely happens. I would rather just cook myself from scratch. Then we have energy drinks. I'm not entirely sure why. This is probably a bit unjustified of me, but I've always had a pretty negative opinion about energy drinks, and I honestly feel the only time they should be used is maybe if you're incredibly active and you genuinely need maybe a sports drink. But then I think there's still a bit of a differentiation between a properly made sports drink for that person versus something like a Red Bull or a Monster. And I am not physically active enough to require something like an energy drink. Next is dairy milk. We have just completely cut it out by this point. I made the transition to nut milks simply because I preferred the taste. I have got no problems myself with lactose and I'm not vegan. I just made that transition. I still eat other dairy. I still have cheese and yogurts and ice cream, but we just cut out milk. And the last one is to-go food, and this could be that shelf in the supermarket with all the pre-packaged sandwiches and snacks where you can get a little meal deal, or this could be using the drive-through at Starbucks to get a coffee in the morning. I don't find any value in that. I would rather prepare my food and my drink at home. It's cheaper, I know what's in it, and I would take it out with me if I thought I would need it. My next category is household, and we're starting this one off with dryer sheets. I have never bought dryer sheets in the whole time I've had a dryer. Our house came with a dryer already supplied and I didn't use it for months, and so when I did start to use it, someone suggested getting dryer balls, which I have bought 1 pack of, and they have lasted me for about a year now, and they have been great. I have never bought dryer sheets. I'm not even sure I know what dryer sheets do. In the same sort of department is fabric softener or clothing conditioner that you put in the washing machine when you wash your clothes. I've never used it. I don't know what value it adds to when you wash your clothes, but I have been doing perfectly fine without it, so I just don't bother. And still in the laundry department are things like scent boosters, anything you chuck in with your laundry to make it smell better. I generally find that I love the smell of freshly washed clothes, especially like your bed linen, but the detergent I'm using makes it smell great anyway. I can't say I've ever found the need to spend money to throw in extra scent to something that already comes out with a nice enough smell. The next is candles, and I don't know if you can count this as a proper one for me because I don't buy candles not from a minimalist or that they don't have any value point of view. I don't buy candles because I don't like having little balls of fire around my house, but I can totally see the value of them. In fact, I have an alternative, which is just to use plug-in wax warmers which melt the little scented blocks of wax. So with that one, it's not necessarily something I don't buy, it's a substitute. I do something different, but I don't own any candles and I will never buy candles. The next is ornaments. I have 2 ornaments in my house. I find them to be very discreet, though I am contemplating decluttering one of them, so I'll just be left with one. I don't want anything out on my surfaces, cluttering my space, or anything extra that I have to clean. I just don't see the point in that. I don't, and never have I, purchased any form of disposable cutlery, plates, cups, and things like that. I think that was how I was raised. I can't ever remember in our family having any sort of disposable servingware. It was just not something that was done. Even if we had guests over or we had a little party, we would just use the plates and cups we already had. Plus, of course, it's better for the environment, so honestly, I see no point in those disposable ones. Next is subscription boxes, and that is any sort, whether it's the meal prep ones, you know, flowers, makeup, beauty, clothes, anything, any sort of subscription box. I don't buy into that idea because I feel like whilst it's a good time to try out new products, you're only ever going to like a selection of them. It's probably not the case that you're going to like all of them, which means for the things you don't like, you've wasted money, they're going to be left around cluttering your space, you're going to have to pass them on to someone else, or worse, throw them in the bin. Just all in all, it doesn't seem like good value for money or a way to shop just for the things you need. Next is kitchen gadgets, or in fact, most kitchen appliances. I have a toaster, I have a kettle, I have a microwave, I have a blender. That is it in terms of our kitchen gadgets. You know, people have crock pots and air fryers and coffee makers and all of these sorts of things. I don't have any of these things because I feel like I have all the equipment I need to prepare what I need to prepare. That it doesn't need a specialised gadget for every tiny specific little thing. And then I don't buy novelty kitchen gadgets at all because, again, the basic kitchen tools that I own already do the things I want them to do. I don't need a fancy, complicated gadget that is just something else to clean, that is probably quite difficult to assemble and use. I just don't see any value in it. Carrier bags. I don't ever purchase plastic carrier bags when I'm at the supermarket. I have 2 canvas bags which I take with me, and if I don't have enough space in those, I juggle the rest of my items to the car. I will generally pack the smaller items, and anything bigger, let's say it was a box of cereals or something, I would just hold that in my hand and carry it to the car. That being said, we do our big weekly grocery shop online, so we don't need a lot of carrier bags, and when I do pop into the grocery store, or I suppose any kind of store, and I take my 2 little canvas bags with me, I won't be expecting to buy a whole week's worth of groceries. If we did go back to doing our grocery shop actually in the store, I would buy a couple more canvas bags rather than buying loads and loads of plastic bags over and over again. Storage furniture. This has been a long lesson to learn. Before moving into my house, I thought having lots of storage furniture would be so essential to keeping everything neat, tidy and organised. But you know what it does? It encourages you to fill it with rubbish that you don't need. When I was doing my garage declutter, I was so tempted to buy extra storage furniture to keep loads of stuff in. The answer was to declutter the stuff I wasn't using, not buying more storage furniture. Last in this category is seasonal homeware. This is things like plates and cups and glasses and tea towels. I appreciate a little bit of festive decor, a cushion, a stocking to hang up at Christmas, a pumpkin in the autumn, but I don't need plates that I can only use at Christmas, and I don't need tea towels that I can only use at Halloween. I've fallen into this trap before, I've decluttered the lot now, and I won't be going back. The next category is entertainment, and we're starting it off with magazines and newspapers. I personally don't get any value from reading a magazine or a newspaper. I don't like having the physical item in my house. I would rather get that content online. And I think in a lot of cases you can actually get the information that's in the magazine or newspaper for free if you go online. You can also get a magazine subscription online where you don't actually have to have the physical copy in your space. I've never bought an app or spent money on in-app purchases. I feel like a lot of what you can want from an app can be found in the form of a free version. It might not be the most popular one, but they do exist. I've never come across an app I've wanted to spend money on because it actually adds that much value to my life, and I'm sure they exist and they're out there, but for me that's just not been necessary. I will download apps that have got in-app purchases, but I always stick to just the things that you can access for free. I no longer buy CDs or DVDs. I do have a lot of them, and I'm currently working through decluttering the ones I feel like I can let go of. I'm a big believer that the creators of those media should be paid for them, so I don't believe in downloading music for free. The first place I'll stop by is Amazon Prime or Amazon Music, and I will download the digital copy of the media I want, but I no longer buy physical copies of CDs or DVDs. And the last thing in this category is music streaming services. I'm not about having ads in between songs, but at the same time, I don't really want to pay for a music streaming service because I don't think I would ultimately use it enough. The music I'm interested in, as I've already said, I will buy a copy of either that song or the album if it's an artist I particularly like, and I will have those songs saved to a device like my phone, and I will just listen to them ad-free from my phone because I've actually got the songs myself. Now let's talk about health and beauty. My first one in this category is sort of shower gel and body wash, and that's not because I smell, it is just because I am much more in preference of using a bar of soap and a washcloth. 2-in-1 products. I know that some minimalists prefer to use 2-in-1 products because if you can have less physical items and one thing that does a lot of jobs. I know some people like to use shampoo, conditioner and shower gel as all one thing, but for me, I personally have found it really decreases in the quality of the product. So if you use a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, the shampoo and the conditioner individually just aren't as good. So I prefer to have individual products that actually do what they're supposed to do. I do not use most beauty services. I went for almost 3 years without having my hair styled or dyed or anything like that. I did get it done in December just gone, and if I do decide to get it done again, that will be the only beauty appointment that I actually have. I don't get my nails done, I don't get my brows done. I pretty much do everything I want to do at home. I no longer buy or use any disposable period products. I completely replaced those for Think's reusable period underwear. They have been fantastic and I have never looked back. Of course, it's better for the environment and I no longer have to regularly buy disposable products. Nail polish. Now, I've just mentioned about not getting my nails done, nor do I actually do anything with my nails anyway. I have a couple of old nail varnishes, nail polishes in a drawer somewhere. If I ever wanted to do my nails, I could, but I don't actually bother to go out and buy anything to do my nails anymore because it's so rare that I would actually do them. I stopped getting my nails done in December of 2019 and I have never painted my own nails since then. Another one that's gonna make me sound like I smell bad, but that is perfume or body spray. I stopped buying this. I own a couple because I was gifted some bottles of perfume at Christmas, but I don't actively go out to buy them, and if I don't have any, I find using a roll-on deodorant is enough to keep me feeling fresh. Disposable makeup wipes, simply because, well, one, they're disposable, they're not good for the environment. Two, they don't work. I have never used a disposable makeup wipe and felt like my face was clean when I was done. I feel much better actually using a washcloth and washing my face properly. Pretty much any bath products, bath bombs, bath oil, bath fizzers, whatever you might chuck in the bath. And that's not because I don't see the value in them and that I don't see how other people could enjoy them. I think they could be very nice to treat and pamper yourself, but I have lived in this house for almost 2 years and I have had 2 baths in that time. I am very much a shower person, so I don't buy bath products. Body lotions and body butter. You know, I can see the value in a moisturiser for the face, but I don't take the time to use any particular lotion on my body. I have recently started using a body mist, but I'm not a body lotions or body butter person at all. Underwired bras. I recently made the transition to non-underwire bras and the comfort level is amazing. You don't get that feeling at the end of the day where you feel like you need to take your bra off. Like, it is just next level. I will not be going back to buying underwire bras. Gym memberships. I have had a gym membership in the past which I used a little bit. I won't say I neglected it completely, but I didn't use it as much as I could. I much prefer, honestly, going out for a walk or even a run, and I'm not a big cardio person, or doing a workout video on YouTube in my living room. Gym memberships are so expensive and it's not something I have ever used well or found value in. Makeup collections. This is a new one that I've discovered, and that is by doing my year of not buying any makeup, then decluttering my makeup, and now doing my project pan. And that is anything like a really varied eyeshadow palette or a lipstick collection with loads of different colours in. I now know just to stick to the shades that work for me, and buying an eyeshadow palette with 30 colours with bright blues and oranges is not going to work for me. I'm just going to gravitate towards those neutral colours that I always go for, and then the rest will just be wasted. So now I know to buy smaller collections with only colours I'll use, or even just individual items. And the last one in this category is anything to do with sort of dieting, I want to say fads, like diet plans that you have to pay for, diet courses, diet pills, meal supplements. I have been self-conscious about my body, I think pretty much since I started secondary school when I was 11 years old. But I know deep down that the best way to get healthy and to maintain that plan is to have healthy habits in your life that you can actually stick to. Eating well and exercising and doing it in such a way that you can actually maintain it in your everyday life. Next we have clothing and accessories, and the first one in this category is belts. I don't wear belts as a traditional holding up your trousers type of thing, but at the same time I also don't buy fashion belts. I never stylize outfits using belts, and because I never have much success with buying and styling belts, it's just put me off buying them at all. Feeding off a similar theme is fashion accessories like scarves and sunglasses. I don't buy into having lots and lots of these. I have one pair of sunglasses and I have a winter scarf that I wear for a practical purpose of actually keeping warm. I don't have fashion scarves to wear to style an outfit. And again, similarly, it's fashion jewellery, and in fact a lot of jewellery in general. I don't buy into fashion jewellery because I find it's cheap and tacky, but also I have one necklace I wear every day, 2 pairs of earrings that I wear all the time, and the same rings that never leave my fingers. I don't really have much in the way of other types of jewellery. I don't have sort of any body piercings, I don't wear things like anklets or toe rings. I don't really branch out in jewellery, and the pieces I do have I love and I wear them all the time, so I don't feel like I need lots of other pieces to just sit in a drawer somewhere. The next one is things with massive logos on, and this is usually designer things, which I never thought I'd say because I used to be a massive designer fiend, and if I had a designer brand written across my chest, I thought that would be like the most amazing thing in the world. And recently, when I was doing a wardrobe declutter, I found a t-shirt that just had Michael Kors written straight across it, and I just laughed. I thought it looked really obnoxious. It was like, could I be any more obvious that I'm trying to tell the world that I'm wearing designer clothing, yay me? And I couldn't bear it. I was like, I've got to get rid of this. I can't wear it. You know, I am a person. I'm not there to walk around advertising these brands, and I'm definitely not out trying to impress people by putting a designer logo right across my chest. Next is swimsuits, and I feel this is a circumstantial thing. I live far away from any beaches, and the beaches in the UK are more often than not really, really cold because of our climate, and I'm not a fan of going into swimming pools, so there is rarely an occasion where I need a swimsuit. So on the chance that, you know, I go somewhere nice on holiday and I'll be able to enjoy a beach there, I do own one plain black two-piece, and that is all I need. I don't need lots of different ones, different colours, different styles, but as I said, circumstantial. If you live somewhere with beautiful climate, or if you're a swimmer, then maybe you do have a few of those. And the last one is cute pyjamas, pretty colours, funny styles, with bits stuck on them and hanging off them. At the end of the day, I want to get a good night's sleep, so something that I know fits well, is comfortable, is soft and is cozy is exactly what I'm looking for. So I no longer go for materials that will either leave me too cold, too hot, shorts that ride up, and you know what I mean, things with straps that end up coming down, just anything that's uncomfortable. So I just avoid now buying cute and trendy pyjamas. And finally is the miscellaneous category, and the first one in this group are souvenirs. So things you see on your travels to specifically remind you of those travels. I always say the best souvenir is just to take a photograph, and I always feel that is more personal to you and your family or your friends, whoever you go with, because they can be in the photograph. You've actually got a reminder of that enjoyable time that you spent with yourselves at that place. And I feel like that's far better than any knick-knack or fridge magnet or t-shirt that ultimately you're either going to declutter or struggle to declutter because you're sentimentally attached to it. Then we have notebooks. I do have a few notebooks still left to use up, but after they are gone, I do not plan on repurchasing any more. I would like to find a digital alternative to note-taking where I can save lots of notes and then I can refer back to them, and they can be done in different formats and just suit all my note-taking needs. The next one is stationery. I just think that's a thing we can really start to snowball with if we see, oh, these nice pens and these pretty highlighters and these sticky notes. And you know, I've got a fair bit that I still am working through using up. And when I have used it up, I don't ever plan to accumulate so much ever again. I would just like to have a small selection of essential stationery. This one is very random, but extended warranties. So when you buy something, I will generally just stick to the warranty that is attached to that item for free. I've never actually had to use a warranty, but I feel like the free one that usually comes with it is usually enough, and if something breaks down and needs repairing or replacing after that, it's probably because of the age of the product and the fact that these days a lot of products aren't actually built to last, and I would look at replacing that. I don't plan on spending extra money for an additional 5 years, let's say, on top of the 2 years I've already got for free, when I probably won't even use it. Similarly is premium petrol or gas if you're in America. That's something I have never understood, but I've never had a flash fancy car that I felt like I've needed to put expensive petrol in, but I'm not sure how this works in other countries. But generally speaking, when you go to the pumps in the UK, you have unleaded, which is just petrol, premium unleaded, which is fancy petrol, and diesel, if you have a diesel engine in your car. So for me, I have a petrol car, so my choices would be the unleaded or the premium unleaded, and I always just go for the unleaded because it's cheaper. I don't know what the advantages are for premium unleaded, but as I've said, I've never had a flash fancy car that means I worry too much about the petrol I'm putting in it. So I just go for the cheapest option. The next one is gardening tools. We do have a small front garden and a small rear garden to our house, but most of the gardening tools that I have ever needed, I have borrowed, usually from my parents, because they are quite big into gardening and I myself am not. I do what I need to do to keep it tidy, but I am not going to spend a lot of money on a load of tools that I'll use maybe once or twice a year when I can borrow them. All we do own is a lawnmower, and that is just because we do need to keep on top of trimming the lawn. I probably do that once every 2 to 3 weeks throughout the spring to the autumn, and then not in the winter. So we do have our own lawnmower, but pretty much all of the gardening tools we don't have our own, we just borrow them. Next is print-offs of photographs, simply because what am I going to do with them? Where am I going to put them? I am not the sort of person that frames photos of people and places and displays them all around my house. We have one printed photo from our wedding day in our living room, and that is pretty much it. So I don't get my photos printed out to display somewhere, I just keep them on my phone or on my computer. And number 50 is latest or high specification tech. I've talked about it loads of times. My phone is nearly 4 years old, and even when I bought that, it was still a model that was a year old already. I don't have fancy gadgets in my house, and I never pay for the best specification of something. I bought my computer quite recently, but even so, there were loads of add-ons and high specifications that I could have had that I could have paid more for, but they really exceeded my needs, and so I didn't feel like that was necessary. You know, I'm even running around in the first car that I ever had. It's nothing special, it is just a little run around, because I don't see the point in putting a whole lot of money into fancy tech gadgets and things like that. And that's it. Those are my 50 items that I do not buy. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're not already. And don't forget to leave down below in the comments your total, if you were counting along, how many of my 50 items do you not buy either. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.